Hello. Today we're going to look at the DORA summary and parent-teacher report. So I've logged into my account and I'm going to find the reports under the Scores and Reports tab. Since we're looking for DORA, we are going to drop down to Active Pulse ELA. And from here, I'm going to see my most recent assessment data. So I'm going to scroll down. I see my class listed, all of their scores, their current scores are listed on this screen. And to the far right-hand side, I'm able to drop down to reports. So I'm viewing Justice Brown. I'm going to drop down that column and you'll see I have the reports here available for me. My first stop in evaluating DORA is the summary report. So let's take a look at that today. I'm going to view this with scores, but in some cases you might want to view without and just look at it without the scores without getting bogged down with particular students. So let's view this with scores. You'll notice a very easy to read report. On the left-hand side, I have green checks indicating I'm on track or above grade level. And then there's additional details under each of those subtests. On the far right-hand side, I'm going to see the student information, when it was updated, their grade, and age. So under the high frequency word subtests, this is letting me know that it's measuring their ability to identify those words. I see the student has the max score. So it's letting me know maximum 3.83. The student's actually maxed out of these first initial subtests, so I can see that indicated here. You'll also see a breakdown of phonics, for example, real word questions versus non-word. They didn't have any errors, so we don't see that broken out here. You see 0% because they have a 4.83 max score. Now the phonics principles are outlined. You'll see the check mark indicating mastery, tested correctly. If it's blank, it would be tested incorrectly, or an NT indicates not tested. I do like that even on the summary report, you're going to see specific student examples. For example, Justice can spell words like decision, but did spell error incorrectly, and you can see how they did that. So that's really helpful to know. In addition to that, you can see under vocabulary, they're what they're able to identify different words, along with on the far right-hand side, their score range. The reading comprehension also breaks out factual versus inferential errors. So here we see it's almost in half, but more of the errors were on factual versus 43% on inferential. And then the last option here is scores, grade level scores in a chart. I can see they've maxed out here. If I hover over, I'm able to see those scores and how the student is doing. Grade levels are listed here at the bottom, but I can also hover over to see the grade level listed. Again, really helpful report, gives you a ton of information for one page. You can also print those all out as batch printing, right? So in some cases, I want all of my student summaries printed out so I can look through those, put them in their charts. Maybe it's at conferences. You can do that over here on the far right-hand side by selecting class summary. And now I'm able to print those out with or without scores for my entire class. All right, one more stop we're going to make here. We're going to continue looking at Justice scores, but I want to bring our attention to the next report, which is teacher parent. Now, this report is awesome. Not only for both, for teachers and parents. You can download recommended activities. It's going to be an expanded version of the summary report we just viewed. So you're going to see more examples. You're going to see the narrative on how the student reads words. So I will include recommended activities so we can see that. And I'll also include scores. Again, similar setup. So I'm going to see the student name and information. Again, you're seeing the green check marks indicating we're on track. But here we're going to have that narrative, how Justice reads words, excellent foundation in sight words, word recognition, and phonics. But again, I have a goal listed here at the bottom. So as we scroll down, how Justice understands words, again, some really clear information on the student with an additional goal for them to work towards. The student's doing really well, of course, so they're going to see some higher level scores here. What's really helpful is you'll see the breakout of the reading profile. So all students are given a reading profile based on how they're doing in vocabulary, or excuse me, in decoding, vocabulary, and comprehension. This student is a profile H. That means they are on track. They're ready for the next thing. You can start expanding with them and adding additional enrichment activities. So this is the narrative for this particular student, letting me know what to do next, right? Where's the student and where do we go from here? So that's really helpful to read. And below that, we decided to include those recommended activities. So you'll have those listed here. So you can do that for parents as well. And for teachers, of course, you can have these and scroll through them and use them. In some cases, you might want to pull this report for a family and actually just copy and paste some of the things that you'd like them to work on. So I might copy this and have them, work on some of the things, or, copy some other activities I'd like to share with them. So you can use the report in any way you'd like, but you have it all available to you there. So again, to get to these two reports, I went to Scores and Reports. I'm on Active Pulse ELA. And for whatever student I want to view, we were viewing Justice. On the far right-hand side, I would drop down to Reports, and there I have Summary and Teacher Parent Report available. Thank you.